Indianapolis entrepreneur Carl Fisher had the idea to build a facility where automobiles could be tested and races held for constructors to show off their new creations to the public. Fisher and his partners James Allison, Arthur Newby, and Frank Wheeler purchased this land for $72,000. As a result, in 1909, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway came into being. The first series of races on track had to be cut short as the original surface of crushed stone and tar proved unsuitable for high speeds. An idea was devised to pave the entire surface in brick. Work began in the fall of 1909. The project took 3.2 million bricks from around the state to complete. It was finished and ready for racing in just 63 days. Almost immediately, the track picked up a nickname relating to its new racing surface. Today, people around the world know of the Indianapolis Motors, and the greatest spectacle in racing was born. We enter the track between turns 1 and 2 onto one of our short chutes, each of which measure 1/8 of a mile and are located at the north and south ends of the speedway. There are 4 turns, each a quarter mile in length from entrance to exit, and 2 straights, each measuring 5/8 of a mile. Altogether, these add up to a total track length of 2.5 miles. You are most likely beginning to feel the effects of our banking as we enter turn 2. Each of our turns maintain their original 9 degrees and 12 minutes of banking, the same as in 1909. By comparison, Daytona International Speedway in Florida has 31 degrees of banking in its corners. The aerodynamics of Indy cars make them more suited to lower banked tracks. If you look to the left, some of the viewing mounds are coming into sight. These are located throughout the infield of the track and are used by general admission ticket holders. Coming into view on the right are the Turn 2 suites. Constructed in 1973, these suites offer a close-up vantage point to the action on track for VIP guests and sponsors. As we ride along the backstretch, you'll notice that the surface is asphalt. This is the only change to the original layout. If you're wondering what happened to all those bricks, most of them are still beneath us, buried under several layers of asphalt. You may now notice a golf course on either side of us. The original course was opened in 1929. There have been various configurations culminating with the major redesign in 1992 by legendary course designer Pete Dye. There are now 4 holes on the inside of the track and 14 beyond the back straightaway to your right. If Indy cars were on track right now, you would see them speeding by at roughly 235 miles per hour or 378 kilometers per hour. That would allow them to cover a football field in 9/10 of a second. For safety purposes, we keep our buses restrained to a more leisurely pace. The Speedway has seen many forms of racing in its century plus of existence. Hot air balloons and motorcycles held competitions even before automobiles took to the track. IndyCar, NASCAR, Formula One, and sports cars have all held major events here. Motorcycles returned in 2008, and even airplane races were held in the skies close to where we are currently touring. Coming up to your left is one of the more recent permanent additions to our facility, a quarter-mile dirt track. This was installed in 2018 in part to honor USAC and IndyCar driver Brian Clausen with the BC39 Midget Car Race, held in conjunction with the Brickyard Weekend. This has become a premier USAC event with over 100 entrants in the first year. As we travel through Turn 3, be sure to look along the white walls on either side of the track. You will notice the SAFER barrier in front of the hard concrete. SAFER is an acronym for Steel and Foam Energy Reduction. This safety feature was developed by researchers at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in conjunction with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was first installed here in 2002. The SAFER barrier is responsible for saving many drivers from serious injury and can now be found at nearly all major racing facilities in the United States. If you look left, portions of the north end of the Speedway's road course will come into sight. Though early track renderings called for an interior road course, it took until the turn of the 21st century for one to finally be installed. The current layout measures 2.439 miles in length with 14 turns. Famed World War I flying ace Eddie Rickenbacker purchased the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1927. Captain Rickenbacker competed in the 500 before he learned how to pilot an airplane. He successfully guided the track through the Great Depression with no halts in racing. There were no events held here from 1942 through 45 as the result of World War II. Unlike the First World War, where the ground served as an aviation repair and refueling depot, the track was largely unused and began to be reclaimed by nature. At the urging of three-time 500 winner Wilbur Shaw, Terre Haute, Indiana businessman Tony Holman saved the track from demolition in 1945, purchasing it for $750,000. Under Holman George leadership, the Speedway prospered and became the worldwide icon known today. In January 2020, the track was sold to longtime race team owner and entrepreneur Roger Penske. Here we are on the front straight. A large portion of the 250,000 plus permanent seats can be seen. Combined with the viewing mountains, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway can hold upwards of 350,000 people. This means the entire population of Cincinnati, Ohio, or the country of Iceland could find space to watch events here. The Indianapolis 500 holds the distinction as the world's largest attended single-day sporting event. You'll notice a wall separating the racing part of the front straight from pit lane. The original version of this was installed in 1957, and it may have been the first of its kind anywhere in the world. During the early days of the 500, pit stops would last several minutes. Modern crews can change a full set of tires and add fuel in less than 8 seconds. Coming up on the left is Victory Podium, and adjacent to it, the Pagoda. This iconic structure has 10 floors, and its height is equivalent to a 13-story building. Opened in 2000, it is the location for timing and scoring, master control, media broadcasts, and private suites. There have been various days. Running through the pagoda and onto the racing surface is a link to the past, the Yard of Bricks. Every brick you see dates to the original surface in 1909. The front stretch remained predominantly brick until October 96. Dale Jarrett wanted to pay homage to the storied history of the track. Dale and his crew made their way to the Yard of Bricks, knelt, and gave them a kiss. This tradition is now performed by winners of every major event here. Scoring pylon constructed in 2014. It stands just over 92 feet tall and has interactive LED lighting that can show the positions of all drivers competing in a race, along with the ability to display animations and other video graphics. There's been a pylon like the one you're looking at near this general location since 1959. On the left is the entrance to the garage area and famed gasoline alley. The concrete structures you see were constructed in 1986, but there have been garages in that location since 1914. The garages located directly off pit lane were constructed in 2000 for Formula One and are currently used by NASCAR. The Speedway has seen many celebrities through its gates, from Hollywood screen legends Clark Gable, Shirley MacLaine, Paul Newman, and James Garner, to modern-day well-knowns like Lady Gaga, Chris Hemsworth, Matt Damon, and Christian Bale. You never know who you might run into within the 2.5-mile confines. Here we are in Turn 1, known by many around the globe as the toughest turn in all of motorsports. Try to picture, on race day, 33 open-wheel cars tightly packed and traveling well above 200 miles an hour, all vying to fit through this narrow corner. I think you'll come to an appreciation as to why it has earned that reputation. To the left lies a large video board located just beyond the road course extension within the turn. There are numerous boards like this one of varying sizes placed throughout the facility. Nearly every seat within the Speedway has a vantage point of one of these state-of-the-art screens to follow the action on the track. This brings us back to where we started. Congratulations, you've completed a lap around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Your average speed was somewhere around 20 miles an hour, not factoring in our stop at the brakes. The fastest official lap ever turned here was by Ari Leyendijk in 1996, and it was slightly faster, averaging at over 237 miles an hour. As we make our way back to the museum, please remember to take time and watch the video within the Tony Holman Theater. And if interested in climbing into an actual Indy car and having your picture taken, we have one available. It is in the North Museum exhibition area on the right-hand side. Though located within the Speedway, the museum is a separate, not-for-profit foundation. Any funds or donations acquired.
Became from mandatory from 1912 to 1942, and after that they were optional. Pounds on the weight, so it's all right. When it starts slow down, they still started up now and then. It happened once too. When the French Grand Prix, it had a booster with an engine in it, and they brought it here in 19. This car won twice in 1947. And this is a turbine car made in 1955. It didn't race. They come out of that exhaust, but that nose of the windshield. That's an Indian motorcycle.
See this in person.
In 1937.
Joe Carter. In sixth place, car 40, Wally Dallenbach.